Hey guys, new video here. I made some progress on the build. So I know exactly what battery I'm using. I just purchased it last night. Um, it's gonna be, it's called a, what's it called? One second. There's a certain name for it. One second. So it's an LG N 2.1, 3.6 volt, 120 amp hour cells. I bought 8 of these. This is 128 amp hours. Is actually 2 cells. So I'm gonna divide the 2 cells. So I have 16 cells of 3.6 volts at 60 amp hours, which comes out to at if you wire them in series, 57.6 volts and 60 amp hours, and that is around 3.4 kilowatts of hour of power of capacity. So with 3.4 kilowatt hours of capacity, that should be well over 100 miles of range at 30 miles per hour, no pedaling. Obviously, if I pedaled, that would be even more range, probably around the 200-mile mark with pedaling. So I bought these for around $50 each, so 400 total. I had a 10% discount from like a YouTuber uh, coupon code, so it came out to around $384. And the way I'm going to arrange these is I'm actually going to divide them up into 4 different battery packs at 14.4 volts each. So it will be a 4S 1P and times 4 packs. And the reason why I'm doing that is twofold. The first is this is my first time actually building a battery from raw cells and a BMS. So I didn't want to do it with like a 57.6 volt 16S in series, because I think all those wires would just be really confusing for me. And obviously I'm just gonna, and there's just more room for messing up. And if you mess up with something like that, it's gonna be a pretty big mess up in terms of the consequences. Um, so that's why I did that. And the other reason why is it actually, so if I divide up into 4 packs, as you can see here, this is just a mock-up of where it could go. No doubt, like 2 will definitely go in the frame. So this is 14.4. This is 1 pack, 1 pack, 1 pack, and then 1 pack here. Um, so 2 can definitely fit in the frame. So if you take 4 of these packs, right, the full battery pack, and you try to put it in the frame, there's no way you can put it in the frame without modifying the frame. And I know I spoke before about cutting the frame and creating like kind of like a enclosure using steel uh, plumbing pipes. But if you don't need to do it, then don't do it. Like I'd rather not mess with the bike itself, and I'd rather just go this route and just split the batteries up into 4 packs, um, so that they can fit nicely. So 2 will definitely go in the frame. I'm thinking of putting 2 on the top because I like how the look. It looks like a gas tank when you do that. Obviously I'll put some type of shape over this, so it's just not like rectangles. Or I can put this below here and make sure that it's there's a good uh, rock guard at the bottom, or a scratch guard at the bottom. I could do that as well. Or I can do, yeah, that's probably the only two. Either 2 on top or 2 on bottom. Um, yes. So and the other and okay, so and I'll talk about this the whole kind of philosophy later. But the other thing is I like to make a modular battery design. So this is a modular battery design. So you have a base module of 14.4 volts to which you can build up different levels. So right now I'm going to buy a 60 volt hub motor. Say one day I want to do 72 volts. I can easily just buy another one, make another one of these packs, and then that would be 72 volts, right? So you see how easy it is instead of me having to disassemble an entire battery again, and then or buy new cells. Uh, and also the thing is, I don't think I would stress these cells out at all. And let's take a look at this more closely at these cells real quick. These are really good cells. So LG Chem, super high brand name. Never These cells have never been cycled, so I'll get the full 3.4 kilowatt hours from the cells. These cells also have, I heard it was actually 5C instead of, so it has 180 amp max continuous discharge current. That is crazy. The the pack on my current 72 volt, obviously those are scooter packs. The max amp is 15. 15. This is 180. So it's more than 10 times. And then I heard that you could actually push these up to 5C. So it could be even more, and it's even crazier. Um, so yeah, and also the weight is about 4 pounds. So each module should be around 16 pounds. Um, so each of these things are around 16 pounds. So that's what. Wait, sorry. That's the 16. Each one is around 8.4, 8.8 pounds. So that's why 16 pounds on the top tube. It's not that bad in terms of the handling. And also in terms of the handling, I rode this bike a little bit just as a manual bike. I rode it down a really steep hill, and I actually love the fat tires. I felt no fear or trepidation or hesitancy to really go fast around the corners. Like I have a road bike also, and also with skinny 23C tires, and also obviously the e-bike. And with those bikes, I generally need to slow down or not speed up down like really major hills or twisty hills because I'm afraid that I'll lose traction and then that'll be bad. Then I'll like hightail or low-tail uh, crash, which would be really bad because I don't wear a helmet. Anyway, so back to the cells. Yeah, so these are really good cells. So, at most, I'm probably going to be around 1,000 watts to 1,500 watts, right? So that like let's just say 60 times. So that's like 20 amps, right? Yeah, let's say around 20 amps max probably or max continuous. So 20 amps over 180. So I'm barely using any of the threshold of this battery, right? Which is a good and bad thing because maybe I don't think it's a bad thing. People say, okay, maybe you have bought too much battery for your use. I actually don't think that's the case. I think you should always buy the best battery and the most powerful battery because I'm gonna have incredible cycle life with this battery because I'm not really gonna push it that much, right? And also the other limiting factor is that I can't afford the high. So because I'm doing 4 modules, I need to get 4 different BMSs. So this is the BMS I'm gonna use. It's a daily BMS. So obviously a lot of the um, guys use these, like the professionals. It's supposed to be a really good BMS. So I'm gonna get a 60 amp 12 volt. Obviously it's not really 12 volts. It's 4S. Uh, the problem here is that so the BMS is also gonna limit the battery to 60 amps. So 60 times 60, so 3,600 watts is the max power that I can get from this battery setup, which is fine because the actual hub itself is only a 2,000, 3,000 watt hub, right? So here, this is what I'm probably going to get. Um, this kit here. It's a 26-inch, 60 watt, 2,000, 2,000 60 volt, 2,000 watt rear hub motor, and it has let's see it has a 55 amp controller, so I can push 60 volts into it. So that means I can do around 3,000 watts with this setup, right? So probably 2,000 continuous, 3,000 max, right? So you know it's well within this BMS, but obviously the batteries are limited because in the future maybe I'll get a better motor or something like that. At which point I'll probably go to 72 volts or 84 volts or 100 whatever volts to do that. But for now, this is okay. And this is a quick wiring of. So again, this is my first time doing it. So this is the wiring. I just confirmed this with a couple people. So I'm pretty sure this is the case. And I'll do another video on the battery build once the battery gets here. So I need to order the BMS today because this is coming from China. So fortunately, the shipping is not too bad. It's supposed to come mid-July. Um, I might buy. So here's the thing. I'm fairly confident I can build this battery because I don't think it's that hard to do. So I might buy the kit before I get the battery and just have the kit installed and everything ready to go when the battery gets here. Um, so this kit has PAS. So I need the PAS levels so that I can avoid suspicion with the cops, right? I don't really care, but it's just easier when you see someone kind of, moving along or pedaling along versus just like not pedaling going at 35, 40 miles per hour or something like that. Then you get suspicious. But when you see someone pedaling, I don't think it's that suspicious. That's why I want to get the PAS. So unfortunately, the way this kit works is that there's no. I'm sorry, that's the wrong thing. That's stock trading, by the way. So there's no PAS and throttle at the same time, which is kind of a bummer, right? So you can only have one or the other, which kind of sucks. But you can change the default speed or something like that, or I don't know. I'm fairly certain now. The other way is I can just get another, what's it called? Another cyclone motor. I could do that too. So I haven't really decided yet, because in this case, the cyclone doesn't have variable PAS. The only problem with this one here is that I don't like the fact that it doesn't have throttle and PAS at the same time. Because what can happen is obviously when you're at a stop sign, you kind of like to have the throttle to help you right in the beginning. But I don't know. I need to decide how I want to do that. I'd rather have the. I think I need to have PAS because it's just too suspicious to do it the other way. And let's go back to the bike. Yeah, so that's the update. The batteries I bought. I'm gonna buy the BMS tonight. Um, all that stuff should arrive sometime mid-July, so it's gonna be a while. Uh, and gonna, probably figure out. I'm probably 85% certain I'm gonna get the hub motor. Unless unless I can get a PAS mid-drive that's high powered. So there is the BBS HD, um, but and also the CYC X1 Pro, but both are pretty expensive. The CYC X1 Pro, that's probably out of my price range. It's like 800 bucks or something like that. That's probably a little out of my price range to do at the moment. The BBS HD is like 600 or something. That's kind of a little bit too much too. So I don't know. I gotta figure out how I want to do that. Yeah, so that's the update. A little bit longer video. I'm gonna make another video about why I want to do a modular design on a bike. But yeah, it's so the bike is coming. Hopefully I get it done by mid-July, if not early August. Then that'll give me at least 3 months or of good riding, one summer month or 1.5 summer months, and then into the fall and part of the winter. And the fall will be really nice when you have the colors. And, I can go like 100, 150 miles on this thing, right? Can really enjoy Wisconsin and, you know, see different sights with it. So, yeah, that's the update. Hope everyone's doing well. And let's get building.